finally be there after a few minutes of faffing in and out of lobbies. We are finally at the United Arab Emirates Dubai International Circuit, and forgive me while I just get to grips with the drivers and their liveries. Just see we've got a certain evil dragon joined, so I believe I've got some big shoes to fill tonight. So as you may or may not be able to grasp, I'll be making this up mainly as I go along. But I am Thunderhead 74, and your director will be Suki Beastbeck. So thank you for joining in, bearing with us, if you are still with us that is. We were due to have 10-minute practice followed by 25 minutes of qualifying before tonight's 43 lap race, but after a few gremlins I think we've been cut down now to just go straight into either a very short practice or just straight into quali. I'm not entirely sure which format we're in. So, for those of you that are listening, we have 16 races ahead of us tonight in Dubai, and going all around the globe, ending up in the Circuit of the Americas in Texas. That will be in June, so 16 rounds to go. There are 5 marks that will be racing. That is, they're all rear-wheel drive, I should say. We've got the Ginettas, G44s, Porsche Caymans, BMWs, Ford Mustangs, and Astons. A few makes left in the garage as we watch. So I just overcook it there. Angel 1. I don't know if he managed to get away with that spin, or if he's done enough damage to warrant going back to the pits. Number 19, that's Gunnar Ear in the Ginetta. Interestingly, they're one of the slower cars of the group, but I'm sure that there are other capabilities, maybe it's cornering speed or handling that make up for that lack of outright pace in a straight line. So that's Gonorrhea of Line Evo. Boston Row. I haven't raced against Boston Row or seen him, but whether it's his first time or not, I couldn't say. But all these guys are serious competitors, and if you want to realise how good you are as a racer, this is definitely one league you need to come to benchmark yourself, I'd say. I've had a fair few races. Thought I was relatively quick, but a lot of these guys will show you exactly how quick you are or are not, as the case may be, because they do race a lot. They know their racing lines, their braking points, and the other half of the equation is the setups. They get them spot on, so some of these guys make going around the course look very easy indeed. And of course, if your car is set up exactly how you need it, and however it suits your driving style, then the lap times do fall down and come to you rather quickly. They do make it look effortless. So I appreciate we've got a few laps on the lap times up on the board now. Who have we got at the top? Boston Road, 1 minute 46, followed very closely by I'm not sure is the honest answer. I've come in at the last minute, so at the moment I'm scratching my head as to some of the names of these drivers. But I'm sure, no doubt, I will get used to them as the race goes on. Go through the field then. Oh, Pinchy, there we go. Pinchy's in number 2nd. Pinchy 90 Ale. So we've got 8 teams in total. Line Evo in the Ginettas. HBH Racing in the rather striking blue Aston and pink Aston Martin. That's Harry Buddha and Hokaka. We have a certain Hoof-Hearted and Buxton Boy racing in Ginettas. Those are the monochrome black and white Ginettas. I don't believe we've seen them yet, but I'm sure we will get around to them at some point. In Target Motorsport we have the, I would say the godfather of the website, GAVRA League 1991, in I think his 99th race, so very nearly at the century mark. This is all really down to him. It's all, well, he planted the seed, I would say, and the others have flocked to his Racing League season after season, and the people that do come are helping to sort of build it into a bigger thing, more overlays on the video stream, more commentators, probably far more efficient than I am. But yes, every race, every season, looking to make it a little bit better, a little bit more polished, professional. Lights coming on now. It's just on 6 o'clock by, and so I'm just feeling the need to keep a bit of light in front of them. So it's worth noting 1 minute 43.4. Rip It Up has just gone straight to the top of the table. So that is that's laid down the gauntlet. 1.5 seconds almost quicker than 2nd place. So that could be a sign of things to come from Rip It Up 424. Let's just stick with him for a while. Using up every inch of the track, little tiny lock up. Smooth through there. And our last bend, power down, tiny step out, just in the back end of the wiggle there, and that's even faster. So it's that is 1.5 seconds quicker than the next best. Quite a few people yet to put a time up there, whether they're tweaking their setups or just watching. So 1 to 8. Rip It Up followed by Nico Zaba, followed by Pin, followed by Okay, we're back. Angel 1. Where is Angel 1? In the big. Oh, he's overcooked that. Gone wide, and he'll have to. Oh, we are in practice phase now. So we've got just over a minute to go. Some of these guys obviously just biding their time. Probably having a last minute snack, something to drink maybe, before they get serious for 10 minutes, 25 minutes of qualifying. Car's slowing down. And I'm sure that a lot of the guys here are going to be quite nervous now. It's the beginning of a new season. As I said, round 1, Dubai International. That is 2.666 miles around, or if you like that in kilometres, that's 4.29 kilometres. This track comes in 4 iterations, really. There's a couple of minor tracks you can run, but you've either got the Grand Prix, the Club, the International or the National, and tonight we are at the International, or rather it's running as an International. So that's practice out of the way. Doesn't mean anything. It has given a few drivers possibly an eye before they go out and see where they can put it on the green. Here's the 2 USA Iron Pigs. Out to the pit straight. Janessa's out early. That's a striking dark green livery of the Lime Evos out front. And they'll be running out quite cautiously. Tyres still cold. Probably a couple of laps before they really get the car to where they want it to be, so just a bit of weaving, getting their eye in, picking their braking points. Rigged up there with 17 litres of fuel, so relatively light. Looks like you might be doing a couple of laps. It is very easy to get your lap times invalidated if you go over one of several lines around the track. So braking and getting your driving line spot on is very much key. It's got to be smooth, especially if you make that mistake in the last sector. That will invalidate your next lap, so you have to make the most of your time out there. 22 minutes remaining, possibly 10, maybe 11 laps to give it your best and put that on the number 1 slot. Pretty much all out there now. Hoping they've all found some decent air. Come out behind someone that's putting their tyres up. Okay, so I've been told I'm a bit quiet, so I'll see if I can do something about that. I'm sure I can. It's wonderful settings. And while I do that, you just enjoy the view and the images. Okay, so I am back in the room. I've had a bit of a fiddle with my settings and believe I may have cracked it, so do let me know if I'm not as loud as you'd like, or maybe I'm too loud. I'm not sure, maybe you just like to enjoy the view. On board with Nico Zava at the moment, and he is doing a pretty good job of making Rip It Up work for his pole position. Improving on a previous lap time, but whether it's enough, we shall see. As I've said before, a lot of these guys put in an enormous amount of practice, lap after lap, just trying to get their brakes right, their tyres right, balance of the car. So I would say that's good, that is good. As we're now with Team USA Iron Pig, Aguilerator 1985. Can't really comment a lot about these cars, never driven one. Not sure if they're a handful or a dream to drive, but we shall see. It's always given that the European cars are somewhat easier to drive, not quite so brutish, but this could be a surprise package. These teams have carefully selected their cars and they'll be with them all the way through the season. So they, I hope they like what they've picked, and I hope they manage to get on well with them, because if they don't, they could be in trouble. And at the start of a long season or even a long race, if you're not at one with your car, that is a pretty long race and can be miserable. So Rip It Up's come back into the pits. Nico's still out there trying to nick pole position off him, and there's actually quite a few drivers there that have yet to go out, but there's plenty of time. 17 minutes and ticking down. We haven't seen anything, any crazy offs or anyone really making too many wrong moves, so I would say there's been a fair amount of time put into the preparation for this first race. Drivers have known for quite a while where the first race will be held and in what format this track will be run. I say that, and that is Buxton, who's obviously overcooked it, wanting to come out of that last bend just a bit too quickly possibly, paying the ultimate price. Whereas Buxton down in 10th, so not probably where he wants to be, but I'm sure he's getting his eye in. Obviously the lap he's on now was very much compromised because of that spin, so around he goes again to give it another crack, or rather he'll have to wait another lap before he can give it a crack. One of the Porsches coming into the pits there. It's slightly unusual pit entrance. It's off to the right as you come round that last bend. You've got to get your braking points right and make sure you hit that pit limiter before you enter the pits, otherwise that will be a potential disqualification for you. So really small detail, but a big impact. You don't want to get caught out with something like that. You don't want to hit it too early, you lose out seconds on your lap time, and you definitely don't want to hit that limiter too late, or that will be race over. Watching the blue and white Harry Buddha Aston Martin. Hard on the brakes, no glow, so I'm not sure how hot they are or how high the pressures are he has them, but and there's the main man, GAVRA. We'll stick with GAVRA for a while. His 970 Porsche. Great lap. Don't know if he was compromised, but he's coming round for another crack. On board with Angel 1 here. Let's see how he approaches this lap. Seems to be putting in a good lap. He's up on his previous lap, so he's probably looking to maintain that. Oh, two cars in one corner. Look, already. Oh, I think they've both paid the price there for being in very close proximity of each other, and I would say that Porsche could do with a bit of TLC. I would get back to the pits if I were you. Hit Control Alt Delete, reset, and give it another go. I'm sure the aero is not working probably at its best right now for that Porsche. So 12 minutes to go, rip it up, still in first place. Nico Zava in second. I will have to get my phone out here because I'm not entirely sure that is in third, and I've got a memory like a sieve. Interesting, Sola Salita hasn't actually come out of the pits to do a lap yet. He is normally a very solid, very quick driver, possibly confident that he's going to come out maybe with a few minutes to go, just nail it, put the hammer down. So maybe he's just keeping playing his cards close to his chest, should I say. We shall see. But he is out of the pits, he's on the track somewhere, not sure quite where he is, and I'm hoping we should see a lap time from Sola Salita very shortly, and that goes for Gonorrhea 2. Gonorrhea and Hoof-Hearted, both yet to set a time, whether they're setting cars up or just having a drink and putting their feet up, accepting that maybe they would be best off starting at the back. It might not be a bad strategy because it can get messy up front when you've got 16 or 14 excited drivers looking to get that first corner advantage. Although, as you all know, we have got 43 laps to do, so there's plenty of time to jostle for position. Nice onboard shot there of Boston Row, who is all but running on fumes, 2.9 litres, but as long as he can nail the lap, that might be the difference between 4th and, well, let's see where he can end up. Picking his way through that last corner, hitting the apex, squeeze the throttle. There's the line. Come on, where is he? No, not a good lap. Harry Buddha has gone for the same approach, very light on fuel, almost on fumes. Let's see what he can do. Currently sitting in 5th place, 2 seconds off pole, so there's certainly some more meat on the bone there if he wants to go out and get it. Faster, giving another driver a bit of space. Very gentlemanly of him. It's good. Buxton having a bit of a wander. So pole is Rip It Up. 2nd place, Nico Zava, less than a second behind him, 0.6 actually behind him. And those two possibly might be in a race of their own. We have Pinchy 90 Ale in 3rd. Boston Row in 4th, Harry Buddha in 5th. Looks like the field might be quite spread out for this one. But as I say, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers yet to set a time. So they're either hiding something, keeping their cards close to their chest, or they're going to let the field go and run their own race from the back, which may not be a bad thing. Start at the back and pick your way through the carnage of the first corner, which as a driver you don't like seeing, but I'm sure as a spectator it does give you a little bit of added incentive to watch. Hoof-hearted and Goner, they're both out now. Okay, I thought Hoof was going to stay in the pits for a while, but obviously decided he's happy with his setup, and they've let him go for a couple of laps. So here we are. This is how things stand at the moment, or was. I've just been given a brief glimpse, but you can see for yourselves down the left hand of your screen where your drivers are, if you happen to have a particular favourite or one that you're following. Who knows? That was a bit wide there by Evil. Bit of a messy front end. Not sure what's going on there. Don't know if that was contact with another car or possibly something a bit more stationary. Doesn't look like he's enjoying the best lap there. So number 19, Goner here. Is that his teammate just in front of him? Possibly trying a bit of slipstreaming there. Might give him a little bit of an advantage, but I think possibly a little bit too far away to get any real bonus out of that. Maybe he's following him just to get his eye in for racing lines. Here's Mr. Hoof-Hearted. Let's see how he's getting on. Both cars black and white in that team, Norfolk and Chance, and one has, I believe, a yellow front scoop, that's Hoof, and the other one a pink possibly, and that is Buxton Boy, who's currently mixing up in 7th, so he is top 10, but still some way off first place. Rip it up going way off. I'm not sure what corner that was, but he can afford to make a few errors. He looks like he's got pole nailed, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's just experimenting with where he could possibly push the car a little bit further. Boston Road still trying to get up the grid, trying to nick 3rd place from Pinchy. Only 0.3 of a second, but sometimes those kind of gaps are elusive. You're driving to what you think is the smoothest and best line, but there is time obviously out there to be had. Joe Black, sorry, not the car you're looking at, but I just realised I've yet to mention Joe. 4 seconds off the pace, so possibly one of the drivers that hasn't put in as much practice, or maybe he's just not found the sweet spot on his setup. So this is now put up or shut up time, 2 minutes 20 seconds. We've got about half the grid in the pits. They're either thinking they've done about as much as they can do, just having a bit of a break before the race unfolds. 43 laps, under 2 minutes a lap, so we're probably looking at about an hour's racing, just over an hour. So I hope you're comfortable, you've got your drinks ready, and if you need a pit stop, I would go now, because we are very close to having the grid sorted out and having 5 lights, 5 red lights going out. Again, first race of the season, Dubai International. It's one of the shorter layouts. GT4. There are 8 teams competing over 16 rounds, and that will take us up to June this year. Faster A14, seeing if he can put in a better lap than he's at 1 minute 46.5. Staying wide, feeding the car in. Where is he on the... okay, he's about halfway around. Looks pretty stable, so I think he's quite positive about this lap. There you go. That looks a good line. He's got a lot of clear air in front of him, which does give you that little bit of confidence that you don't need to be nervous about what the car in front's doing. Buxton boy coming up to the line. What can he do? He's 7th. Stays 7th. So after quite a lengthy qualifying, we've got our grid. Surprisingly, a few cars not putting in times there, so I expect they're just biding their time, relaxing somewhere, just getting ready to hit the grid and just take things as it comes. And let's see how GAVRA can get on in his 99th, if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's his 99th race. Next week being his century, so they might do a special on that. I'm not sure. Get some words from the man himself. I don't know about you, but I am properly excited. I actually was heading home from work today thinking that I was just going to be a viewer, and a bit of a twist, I ended up signing up to commentate a bit. So it's, oh, hello, Nico's having a party on his own there. Might need a few aspirin before the race starts. Thank you, Suki. That's a good spot there. So, Boston Row sitting there, faster A14. Just so you know who's who, the Lime Evo guys are in the dark green Ginettas. HBH Racing in the blue and pink Aston Martins. Team Durex racing the Porsche Cayman, that's kind of a grey-blue livery. Scuderia Franzini in the bright green Aston Martins. That's Boston Row and Carsten Biolv. Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. That's the best you're going to get from me. So, cars on the grid. Drivers probably doing a few last minute tweaks, getting their setups. And I would say they are probably quite excited. Quite tense, I would imagine as well. There's one car there, no lights on, one of the Porsches. Is that GAVRA? Not sure. Rip It Up sitting there on pole. Gonorrhea in second. How did that happen? Nico Zaver in third. See if these Porsches can take the Ginettas on the line. Sola Salita has put in at 5th place. Boston Row in 6th. Faster A14 in 7th. Hairy Buddha lines up behind him in 8th. Buxton Boy, Valiant 9th. Joe Black, good racer. Aggravator 1985. GAVRA, probably not where he wanted to be, but 12th. Angel 161. Evil Dragon, and at the back we have Hoof Hearted. I'm sure he had a problem or two, but there we are. That's your field. This is round 1 of the GT4 season in Dubai International. And we're syncing up. I can hear the car engines. 5 lights, get ready, and we're off. Okay, got to move across, maybe gets a bit of a slipstream there from Rip It. Looks clean. Porsches are going wide. 3 abreast into turn 1. Clean so far, that's good. So that is a pretty much textbook start, and I'm sure the drivers will want to see more of that throughout this season. Jostle for position, brake early, keep it clean and get on with your race. And that is exactly what Rip It Up is doing in first place. He's off. Someone having a look there, pinch it. Oh, there is that was possibly an ambitious move there. I don't know if he took Rip It Up or gonorrhea. Oh, that is one of Team USA Iron Pigs spinning and getting back into the race quickly, but lost a heap of positions there. So Rip It Up is still in first. I thought that was him being taken out. I think that must have been Goner. Yep, Goner is now back in 15th, so he will be pretty gutted at that. That was a pretty reckless lunge there by, I have to say, I won't know unless I see a replay, and I'm pretty sure that that will be investigated at some point after this race. There are incident investigations between races, and that can affect either your licence points or your points awarded for your position. So you can get penalised on either of those if you're adjudged by the panel to have either been a bit aggressive or amateurish in a way that you've overtaken or behaved on track. And I'm sure that would certainly bear some scrutiny later. But first, top four, covered by 4.5 seconds, not a huge amount. Looks like they're sticking with him, so whether that's just sticking in his slipstream or whether he's just toying with them. I know that his pole lap was a lot better than the rest of the fields. Oh, there's a bit of a bump. Have some of that. Unfortunately, 60. Buxton Boy looks like he's in need of a little wander back to the pit just to sort that front fender out. He's got 42 laps to sort it out, but that's probably going to drop him way off the top 10. That's Goner. Goner looking to take 14th, get back into the race, and nice overtake. Can he make it stick? Looks like he's really suffering there, and that straight line speed isn't the strength of that Ginetta, so difficult to get past that BMW, but does it. There you go, lovely. Nice overtake there by Goner just before he gets to the end of the lap, and looks like he is on a charge up the field, possibly a point to prove. There we are with Nico. Nico actually taken first place. I didn't realise that. Rip It possibly has made a mistake, either that or Nico has just put in a solid lap and taken him fairly. I'm not sure, didn't see that, didn't spot that move, but I'm sure Rip It Up won't let him forget that he's there, he's second. So Nico Zaba, Rip It Up, Harry Buddha and Pin. I'm just going to call him Pin because I can't remember the rest. It's a mouthful. Nico there, leading the field. Is he pulling away? Is he pulling away? 1 second, just over a second between first and second place. Third, Harry Buddha, he is there as well. Looks as though he's almost waiting for Rip It Up to make a mistake. Harry Buddha going wide, making most of the track there, and he's really got a good slipstream. And that's Solar Salita. This is telling me Solar Salita is 15th, so I'm not sure that's right. At least that's on my screen. So Ginetta there just braking a little bit earlier, and then getting on the power earlier. They look quite nimble, those Ginettas. Tucking in behind him, seeing if he can get a bit of a pull off him. Not like that. Braking hard. And looks like he's possibly got a problem there. He's dropping off. Not as composed as he was in qualifying, but then qualifying is only one component of the race weekend, or the race evening, I should say. Obviously, when it comes to the race, you've got to worry about looking after your tyres for 43 laps. You've got different fuel loads, so it's possible they're on different strategies, but rip it up. Definitely finding it hard to keep at the head of the pack there. Those two Porsches, they're looking pretty impressive. They're off. Here's GAVRA. Where is GAVRA running? According to my screen, 6th place. And just battling there with one of the Astons. Or Astons, I should say. Is that Hokaka? I'm not sure. That's the honest answer. But battle of the wheels. One braking just before the. Oh, we've got a little bump there. GAVRA's quite excited because he's got his windscreen wipers on. I'm not sure how much rain he's expecting in Dubai, but unless he knows something that we don't, I think he's accidentally tapped his wipers. There's that rip it up, just giving Solo a bit of a flash. There we are, there's another one, lights on. He wants to get past. Wants to, but I don't think it's got the acceleration. I'm just going to go on to Buxton. Buxton has got a red mark next to him, I believe. Is that possibly a disqualification? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That doesn't look good though for the Buxton boy. First three, I've got to say, look very. Someone just cuts the corner there, possibly trying to get out of the way. First three definitely look like they're in a rhythm. They're just putting in the laps now. I couldn't tell. Oh, they are on lap 6. Okay. My screen was telling me that they were on lap 1, and I didn't believe it for a second. So 6 laps down. Nico Zava looks quite comfortable out front. Rip it up in second, 2 seconds now, dropped off the pace a bit, and Harry put 5 seconds off the pace, so field is thinning out somewhat. Evil Dragon into the pits. What's he there for? He's got plenty of fuel, so this is just tyres it looks like. Goner in as well. Don't forget to hit the limiter. Keep it at 37. He looks like he's going for fuel because he's only got half a tank or thereabouts. regulator possibly struggling with that. Yeah, back in last, he is off the pace. I don't know whether he's had a wallop. Of course, in this series we want to see all the drivers finish the race, and we don't want to see any disconnects, we don't want to see any poor sportsmanship, and from the looks of it, all these guys are here to race to the finish line. They all want to be part of it. Not all of them can be first or on the podium, but we want to see all of them give it their all right until the end of lap 43. Just out of respect for their fellow racers, really, fellow gamers. Nice. Oh, that was a nice onboard shot, but Solo will want to forget that corner. Possibly just mounted the apex a little bit too aggressively. Now fallen into the sights of Hairy Buddha, who will probably think, I'll have a piece of that, thank you. Oh, there's another one. That's again got a bit excited on the old loud pedal. So again, as I reiterate, these drivers do make it look easy, but it only takes a squeeze too much here, or not enough there, and you're pointing in the wrong direction very quickly. So even though it does look easy, there's a lot of concentration going into all of these dozen or so corners. Everyone's got to be spot on. Just throw out there that I'm having a very, very quick break. Not an actual break, it's still working, you know, but I'm just giving my voice a break, because I'm not used to talking this much. I know the likes of Evil and Hoof are natural born talkers, but some of us are more natural born listeners, and I think I'm one of them. But I will try and keep it going until the checkered flag. I'm currently just having a very quick look on YouTube to see some comments that may have come this way. I don't want to miss a trick. Found the link, that's good. If there are any comments, are there any comments? I've got 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up is good. We like thumbs up. That is always heartening. And to the 15 people that are watching, good evening. And I hope you can stay with us. We have a Vectro 666 watching, and good evening, Vectro. Someone I've raced with a couple of times, and probably had my fair share of incidents with. It's almost a magnetic thing, and yes, some of it best not talked about, but all in all, good fun, but maybe not at the time. But yes, Vectro, Mr. Vectro, very fast driver there, winner of quite a few races on the GAVRA series. Something that I've yet to do. I've had a fair few races, but have yet to come out on top. And as I say, that is again down to the quality of the fields that you race against. You go through life thinking, oh, I'm quite fast on these games, I'm quite good, and then when you come to mix it with some of these guys in this particular league, then you find out just how fast you are, which is a bit of a wake-up call. So someone in the pits there with a bit of a messed up front end. That's Pinchy, and he's going out with a messed up front end. So he didn't want that fixed. He's decided that he can live with that. So he is out of the points at the moment. Whether things will... Oh, what have we got here? Oh, nearly collected him. Who've cooked it there and nearly took another driver with him. I couldn't quite identify the other car, but he will be mightily impressed that he was missed as Hoof slid back into him or behind him. There's his teammate Buxton Boy, sporting possibly a little bit of damage there, and I can still see next to his name a red flag. So if anyone watching knows what that red flag is, please let me know in the comments, because it doesn't look good, but he is still driving, he's still racing, he's still racking up the times. So I'm hoping it'll just be a small infringement, because at the moment he's in the points. So Aguilera struggling with the car there. It doesn't look that stable under braking. It was a little bit wobbly. Could be the setup. Solo Solita putting out the back end. So they're all pushing still. Just coming up to the quarter way mark of this race. All the drivers look like they're still running, so that's another positive. We don't want to see anyone in the pits, either early retirement or dare I say it, quitting. So that is that's very heartening. Although we do have Evil Dragon in the pits, I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe he had a bit of a moment somewhere, and it's just taking a while to sort his car out. Harry Buddha in his Aston. And we've got here Boston Road being followed by that GAVRA. Is that GAVRA? It is in, again, a very beaten up looking Porsche. So quite a few people here have possibly hit a bollard or two. Not doing their front end much good. They want as much aero as they can get on the front to aid that cornering, but I see Gavra's using the curves there just to help his car round. Oh, that's Gavra. So apologies, I don't know who that was. That was someone else with a beaten up Porsche. As I say, the guys behind this league, they are working, well, I'd say tirelessly. They're constantly striving to bring you a few new things here and there. So things like overlays. I know they've been practicing with few different things to give you something visual for the races, and possibly a few things in between races as well, just to keep the seasons fresh and keep you up to date with what's going on, really. I don't have all the details, but I know the desire is there to have all this go on in the pipeline. Just see what works. Not everything works. Sometimes they'll stick with it, they'll keep with it. Other times they'll think, well, maybe we'll just drop it. But I think you have to give these things a go. Again, as the races unfold, you can comment, let them know what you think, give them a bit of feedback, and constructive feedback's always good. So these two are very close. Harry Buddha I've got down as being in third, closely followed by, oh, we've moved again. So Evil is still in the pits. Whether Evil has something terminal, I'm not sure. But on my radar it's showing him as 12th, 20 minutes behind the race leader. So whether that is a retirement, that's sad to see. So Solar Salita driving dark, got his lights off. Again, on my timing, it's got him as 14th, which I don't believe for a second, unless he has had some kind of mishap or extended standard bits. I should probably take this opportunity to say, okay, so the red flag means a penalty. Tell Suki to show the timings once to see how much it is. So Suki, can we see the timings please, if you get a second, then we can just see what his penalty is. I don't know if we'll be able to tell what kind of infringement it was for, but that might come to bite him at the end of the race if that drops him out of the points. Currently running in 8th. Nico's over there, coolly taking, where's that, where is he? I don't know where he is, now he's whip it up. Whip it up, he has cars all over him, right? He's got his lights off, and not sure what's going through his head. It looks like he's sitting second. But if that is 3rd and 4th behind him, they are going hammer and tongs. They are pretty close, matching each other. I don't know what it's doing to their tyres for the long run. Very nice overtake on the inside by Solar Salita. So I'm going to completely disregard my timings, because I'm pretty sure, and this has happened before, that what I'm seeing is just a load of jumbled up mess. So chances are, if you are at home watching, you will know better than me who's where. Another overtake. Porsches do seem strong in this. Whether they're just suited to this track or they are just a superior car, I'm not sure. lights go on. I don't know if he made a bit of an error there, but he's back on it. Having a little bit of a look there, rip it up, staying in front, keeping smooth, which is what you need to do. You've got two cars all over the back of you. The last thing you want to be doing is giving any headspace to what they're doing. You want it all concentrated on what you're doing. Get the braking right, get the throttle right, get the balance right, and just race your race. But these three are very close, extremely close. They look smooth. But obviously what we don't know is their race strategies. I would say at some point Hairy Buddha has got to come in to top that tank up. 32 litres of fuel. Will that see him to the end of the race? I'm not convinced it will. Or rip it up under pressure, he's weaving. I'm not sure that that will go down well with the stewards. He stays in front. I'm not sure how heavy the weaving was, but it did look like a little bit of a went one way and then came back the other way. Very impressive by these three. And it looks like they're all 100% on it. They're not just settling for their position. They want to move up past the car in front and on, or at least these two do. At the moment, rip it up, he's just holding his own. But whether that is jeopardising his own race, I don't know if he's driving defensively. Oh, and we've lost Evil Dragon. That is a shame. And talking about Evil Dragon, I have to say I take my hat off to him. I tilt my cap because trying to keep track of what's going on, the cars, the drivers, the teams, and obviously to keep it entertaining as he does is no mean feat. So I completely appreciate what he now does when he jumps from race to race and commentates. So hello to Hiker. Hiker has joined us. Matty Cake, Aaron Razy, and Hio also watching this stream. Where are we? Hoof-hearted into the braking zone, is in the points. 10th place. That is probably actually better than he was hoping for. Starting at the back, I know talking to him before the race he wasn't overly optimistic. He'd been spending a lot of time on the behind the scenes jiggery pokery, so not really a huge amount of practicing and testing going on for Hoof. So I think he will be quite pleased with his 10th place haul if he can hold on to it, but still early days and still a lot of racing to go. Whip it up pulling out the way, possibly so Solo doesn't get a slipstream. Comes back onto the racing line, sweeps around and stays ahead for one more lap. So let's see how his nerve holds. Harry Buddha watching. I'm sure he will love to see a mistake by one of the drivers in front so he can capitalise. That Aston not really keeping pace with the other two. It's close, but doesn't quite seem to be able to close up that gap. Ripping up, taking a tighter line in there, possibly earlier on the power. All with Harry. Let's see if he can close up this gap. Braking zone, goes quite wide, misses the apex, doesn't want any of that. And I believe that's ripping up, possibly coming up to some back markers. See the lights being flashed, just to let them know that he's there and he just wants to get past. He does not want to be held up, taken out by someone on a slower race. So this is where it gets interesting. Can he get past them cleanly? Almost at the halfway point here, 19 laps, ladies and gentlemen. And what I have to say is it was a very clean start. The grid got away, all got around the first few bends, absolutely, well, I could be wrong, but I didn't see any paintwork being traded. So that bodes well for the rest of the season. All good clean racing, although a few dents here and there, maybe a few clumsy overtakes on the first lap. I know one that possibly Gonner will be looking at if he saves the replay. To refresh this. See if I've got any more comments. Also, feel free to give us a shout. Let us know what you think about the camera work as well, because that is my teammate Suki B-Spec, who has patiently been working the cameras and all the angles to keep you informed, such as moments like this. Here we go. Side by side. And quite a convincing gap now. Oh, that was, well, I'm not sure what that was, but it was a lot of contact. Okay, Boston pitting. We just had a disconnection. I think that was Angel, but I could be wrong. I think we lost Angel 14. So that is a shame, but we still have 13 running. 13 running out of 15 that started, I think. Looks like Rip It Up is leading this race. I'm not sure if someone's had an accident or he's just taken over because of a pit stop. Harry put it in second, a couple of seconds back, but still there. So still in the mix, looking at a possible podium. Nico Zava in third, Boston Road in fourth, and Faster A14 in fifth. mentioned Joe for a while, Joe Black. He's a little bit off the pace. From Joe down, they look like they're over a lap down, so possible damage being repaired there, or long pit stops. I'm not sure. My timing's also shown that Solo Salita is 11th, but I don't believe that for a second. So Nico, possibly a mistake there. 3 seconds down. He was leading a lap or two ago. Maybe a lapse in concentration. Not sure. We've still got a fair way to go, so these guys really need to get into a rhythm, find their groove, find their braking points. I know that we did start a little bit later than advertised, so some of the guys out in Europe who are an hour ahead, that will possibly punish them a little bit more than us in the UK. But possibly only 20 minutes late starting. A few gremlins, but I think that's always to be expected when you do start something new. Obviously Project Cars 2 has got new functionality. Looks all singing and all dancing, but doesn't always work, so I know they've got a few bugs to iron out and fix. So Buxton Boy and GAVRA now have penalties. I'm not sure what GAVRA's infringement was. Possibly not slowing after leaving the track. That is a popular one. Very frustrating. You don't want to lift, but if you don't, they do catch up with you and they apply that penalty. You might think it's worth, you know, biting the bullet and taking that penalty if, when it comes to the end of the race. So halfway, just over halfway, Rip It Up leading Perry Buddha and Nico. Less than 2 seconds. That splits the top three. That's pretty impressive. The rest, I'd say, yep, have dropped off the pace. Maybe not as competitive. Haven't put in the time to practice or really get to feel their car. But these three, yeah, we could be in for an interesting second half here, because neither of them looks like they want to give up any quarter. Lots of flashing going on as they come through the field. And Rip It Up's in. Rip It Up has got in the pits. Let's see what he... So he is in desperate need of a bit of fuel. Hits the limiter. Nico Zava follows him, but he has a lot more fuel, so possibly he's only in for tyres. This could make or break Rip It Up's race here. Perry Buddha takes the lead. Let's see what he can do with some clean air in front of him. I would like to say where Solo Salita is, but my timings are all up the spout, I have to say. Former teammate, raced with him in Formula Renault 3.5, and he was always super consistent as a racer there. Much more so than I ever was. So Rip It Up sitting there. I'm not sure if there's fuel going in. Let me see what's happened to Rip It Up. Nico is off. Foot down. See you later. And Rip It Up is still waiting there. Looks like, I think he's taking on fuel. Boston Row in that very eye-catching green Aston is third. So not as close as he'd probably like to be, but he's hanging in there, and a good points haul is coming his way if he can hold on to that fourth place. Well, third. But, Rip It Up's out. Okay. New boots, plenty of juice. He is probably going to the line now, so he's got a bit between his teeth. Let's see what he can do. Harry Buddha will be coming in, I would have thought, fairly shortly. He's quite low on fuel there. Just depends what he's done while he's out on track on his own. If he's put in a couple of good laps, probably come out in the mix again. Hoof-hearted, still hanging on to that 10th place. I believe the points do pay up to 10th, could be wrong. So, Matty Cake has spotted that Solo had heavy fuel from the start, so he's driven a smooth race, but with a full tank. So, he only ever needed tyres. Just off the track there, will he pay for that? Trying to reach past that beaten up Ginetta. Clean through now, into the braking zone and off. Hoof-hearted doing really well there, hanging on to 10th place. And Goner, what could have been for Goner? He's I'm showing him as being in 12th place, which doesn't really reflect where he started on the first row, I believe, next to Rip It Up. Enjoyed the first few corners as a 1-2, and unfortunately was rather ungraciously taken out early on. So I'm sure he would have wished his season could start again, but unfortunately can't. It has to unfold, and penalties, where required, will be applied at a later date. GAVRA, 49 seconds. Has Harry gone into the pits? Is Harry Buddha in the pits? No, he's elected to, I believe he must have stayed out. GAVRA 48 seconds behind him. So Harry really needs a short pit stop, otherwise he could lose that first place. 11 litres of fuel, so yeah, he looks like he really needs a fair bit of juice to get him to the end of the race. Comes around, stays out another lap. So I'm guessing his tyres are good, and he doesn't feel the need to come in. Nico chasing him down, 47 seconds. So crucially, how long will Harry need in the pits for that extra fuel and tyres? I'm guessing then it's going to be a simple race to the line. Of course, there's only one race in this format. There's no long race or endurance and then a sprint race. It is just one race before we move then on to the next round. Nico's over, looking very smooth there, just running into some back markers possibly, that are jostling for position down there. As long as they keep it clean, he should get past okay. Fingers crossed. Running a bit wide there, don't know if he's going ragged to try and close that gap up. Still 47 seconds, so 1 and 2 running very consistently. Again 3 and 4, they're also in the mix, but Rip It Up does look like he's lost a bit of time in the pits, especially to Nico, about 10 seconds off now. Scuderia Fronzini in third, and where is his teammate Carsten? Not seeing a Carsten, so it's possible that there was a replacement driver for him. There, still putting in the lap times. Possibly thinking if he hangs in there, there's possible points to be got. It would be a shame to do 43 laps and not a lot to show for it, but we will see as we follow him on the closing laps. Gavra still got those windscreen wipers going, so that must be some sweat he's producing. Gavra with that, oh, everybody's in. That's it, he's in, he's had enough. Pit limiter on, get down to speed, that's it. Oh, couple of bites of the cherry there. He's found it, there we go. So, 40 seconds. Where will Nico arrive when Harry comes out of the pits? When he comes out, I think we have 16 laps to the finish line, so it's starting to get to the sharp end of the stick. So, for those of you watching eSport or ESPRT, I believe they may have lost one of their drivers, Angel 1. However, Faster is still in a respectable 5th place. So, well done to Faster. Not over yet. He's probably hoping to push up the field a little bit more if he can. Someone's in. Couple of pit crews I see out waiting for cars. Nico has taken Harry Buddha, so Harry Buddha's out now. How far behind? I can't quite tell. It's saying he's 1 minute 39. Oh, 8 seconds. Okay, right. So Harry Buddha, Rip It Up, 8 seconds behind the leader, Nico Zava. He'll want to keep that lead, he'll want to keep that nice big gap all the way to the end, but I'm sure the other two have other ideas. It's almost like who's going to blink first. Nico doesn't want to get into too much of a comfortable pattern, otherwise he might slow up, and the other two don't want to push too hard, or they might get a, create an accident or come off the track by just pushing that bit too hard. It's always possible when you're trying to beat the clock, trying to make up a few seconds over a lap. Excuse me. Hoof-hearted, still in 10th, still got that last point-paying position. He will be thoroughly chuffed with that. GAVRA on the start-finish straight, and there looked like to be some action behind him. I'm not sure who it was, but there are a few cars climbing over each other. Rip up 9 seconds, they're dropping back now. Whether their tyres aren't up to temperature, I'm not sure, but Nico is definitely in the groove. I'm not sure if we can look at timings, whether we can see who set the fastest lap. I'm not sure if we can see that during the race or whether we have to wait till the very end. But it would be interesting to see which cars are quick around here, or which driver rather. Still all over the back of Rip It Up's Ginetta. Supposedly a slightly slower car, but Harry Buddha can't get past. He's certainly letting him know that he's there though. See whether he can get a toe down this straight. I'm not convinced he's getting any closer. 13 laps to go. All keeping it clean on the grey stuff. Rip It Up, got it down to, I was going to say 8 seconds there, but it's just, yeah, 8 seconds. Joe Black, there's the 2 American cars thundering around together. Joe Black 4. Egulator 1985, keeping each other company. I'm not sure they're on the same lap though, but my timings are off, so please tell me if I'm wrong. So it's quite an interesting split, the first 3. We have Porsche, we have Ginetta, we have Harry Buddha in an Aston. It's faster in. Faster is in a BMW. So we've got quite a mix up front. No car showing as being a clear advantage over the others necessarily. So I've got a message here. Solo is about 4 seconds ahead of Nico, so Nico is not first. My timings are completely out, and I've been believing that Nico is leading the race, and he's actually following Sola Salita. So 4 seconds down. The question is that 4 seconds getting bigger, or is that gap shrinking? What is he doing? He's got 12 laps to make a difference. What is GAVRA doing? GAVRA's in a respectable 6th place, but 30 seconds between him and the car up the road, so he's possibly banked that 6th, although he does have Pinchy a couple of seconds down the road. I don't think bothering him too much, 3 seconds behind him. I'm not sure if he'd go faster turning those windscreen wipers off, but it's possibly worth a go. So if you're still with us, well done, thank you. And I'm not sure if it's past your bedtime, but we have still got 11 laps to go at Dubai International. Buxton just having a bit of a hiccup there, maybe a lapse of concentration. Could be past his bedtime, I'm not sure. For those who are curious, we have Le Circuit Bugatti coming up next. That is on the 12th of February, followed by Silverstone GP on the 19th. Those will be earlier on in the day, so 2 o'clock starts, race time as in-game race time. This race quite an unusual one, being an evening race. It's good racing there, nice and clean. Aston moving out the way just to let Solo through. Joe Black there, still in the points. Car looking a little bit beaten up. I'm not sure where he's picked up that knock from, but I'm sure he'd prefer a straighter bonnet. And Pinchy running behind. Who's Pinchy running behind? Looks like he's just behind GAVRA. Fast at 8.14, up in 4th, doing well. It's a lot of fuel though, just for 10 laps, so I don't know if he's maybe overweighted that car. Come the end of the race, he might be kicking himself, because you don't really want to carry more than you need. Ideally you want to cross the line on fumes, but that all comes down to planning and preparation. less than 10 laps to go now. It's getting properly dark there. Moving through various stages of the track that are lit, some more than others. It's a little bit tricky actually to tell who's pushing hard and who's found a nice rhythm. They're all still going. 13 of 15 original starters, I think. I should know because I was here from the start. But sometimes the memory just lets me down. Let's have a bit of an update. See if we've got any comments on YouTube. So it's just coming up to 11 o'clock, and that's UK time, so all the European drivers out there, they're just coming up to the midnight mark for them. So a little bit later in the evening, don't know if that will make a difference or whether they're all still dialed in and full of adrenaline, just to keep them going for the last 10 or so laps. So again, a few positions changed, second, third, fourth. If Solo Salita is leading this race, which I'm informed he is, it's possible that Rip It Up is now in second and Hairy Buddha right on his tail. I'm not sure what's happened to Nico, possibly another accident, lapse in concentration. Maybe that time difference that I was talking about has played a part. But he is now tucked in behind Hairy Buddha. So 7 laps to go. 7 laps to go, and it's all smooth, all clean. Whether there will be a last minute lunge by one of the drivers towards the end, we'll have to see. It's always tempting just to push that a bit harder, see if we can bag a few more points. Quite a feat, I would say, also to have these cars come to the closing stages of the race so close to each other. So I think they've all done their homework. They've all pretty much nailed their lap times and strategies. Might come down to who makes the fewest mistakes, I guess. Who manages just to stay nice and smooth, keep a rhythm. I have to say, I'm not sure about. It's not a bad style, Hairy Buddha, but he's very, looks like a very relaxed driver, just sticks to his line, doesn't make any real rash moves or lunges, any leg breaking, just keeps pounding away, grinding away, and you know, that seems like his style to me. Well, we may shortly see a pass. A lot of the overtaking has quietened down, but he's very close. He's very close. He's looking like he's impatient now and he wants to get past. Just picking his moment. Not sure if Rip It Up has a problem with his tyres or brakes, but whatever it is, it's affecting his ability to keep ahead of Hairy. And Hairy Buddha looks like he's just picking his moment. Let's see if he can stick with him on this back straight. And there's Nico behind Hairy, so it's all to play for, and they're all pushing for it. Nice and tidy through there. Probably less than a second, covering 3 cars. If Solo is leading this race, and he may well be, I'm not sure how far ahead he is, but I would say he's running a little race all of his own. That small Janessa looks like it's really coming up against it now. Battle of nerves here, and Hairy Buddha's through. That is a really smooth pass. Oh, and he's overcooked it. I don't know if there was contact there. Maybe got excited in the moment, but Rip It Up has taken his place back. Wasn't too impressed at losing it, so he looks like he means business. Okay, so got to watch the weaving. Here has had enough of being behind him, wants to pull up beside him. On the brakes, feed it in. And oh no, oof, oh. They both made a mistake there, and Nico is the winner in that. I think he still gave Hairy a tap as he went past, but he managed to just hold it and capitalise on that. So these two are going to be pretty gutted, possibly triggered by Rip It Up getting a bit heavy with the accelerator coming out of that corner. Looked like the back end was going anyway, stepping out, and Hairy just gave it an additional nudge to push them the whole way around. But yeah, they both paid for that one, and probably both kicking themselves at this moment. But got to keep focused because they're not at the finish line yet. Got to put that behind them, worry about that later, just concentrate on getting to the line. Solo is running a race of his own. Nico a fair fistful of seconds behind, but it looks now Porsche 1-2. Harry Buddha in third, and Rip It Up, has he just missed out on a podium place? He needs to keep it smooth, he needs to keep it together, and well, he's back there. I don't know what's happened to Harry Buddha, but he is not as fast as he was. He's lost a fistful of speed somewhere. Has he got a problem? Did he damage his suspension maybe? Just keep watching Harry just to see he's not keeping it as smooth. So there may be a problem there for Harry Buddha, which is a shame because they were having a great race. Not all over though. Sometimes a spin like that, it can take your eye off the ball, and you lose confidence, you're worried about your tyres, and any damage you've picked up. So if they're going to do anything, they need to do it quickly, get back in the zone, because there's about 2 laps to go. 3 laps to go, 4 laps to go, something like that. Okay, interesting. So we now have 3 penalties, 3 red marks, and Harry Buddha is one of them. So I'm not sure what's happened there. I'm not sure if he's noticed, but probably isn't too pleased about that. Definitely falling behind now. Definitely not on it as he was before. So Rip It Up looks like he could be holding on to a podium here. Third step, but still a podium. I think even given Harry Buddha's penalties, pretty safe. They've got quite a cushion back to 4th place, so they could probably coast a few of these straights and still finish in the same position. But not that they're likely to do that. Hoof-hearted, where is Hoof? Hoof is still in 10th place, so big shout out to Hoof, who's been quite instrumental in putting a lot of the bits and pieces together that go into broadcasting and a few other bits and pieces on the website. I don't know the full extent of his involvement, but he will be chuffed to come home with some points. I know that because he's had very limited testing. Car pointing the wrong way and quite sensibly letting the race leaders pass before he carries on. Harry Buddha still holding on to the back end of Rip It Up. So 2 laps to go. 2 laps for Harry to make his move or accept what I believe is 4th place. He's closing the gap again though, I'll hand it to him. Let's just hope they can keep this clean. No tears before bedtime, please. So where are they on the map? About halfway around, maybe a bit further. One of the tighter bends. Janetta's round there, very ably, very supple, and another heavy braking zone. Whip it up, determined not to give up another place. And this man, if he is in first, Sola Salita appears to be almost in a league of his own. He's gone round and round, a bit like a metronome really, just doing what he needs to do, hitting the apexes, hitting his marks, and yeah, he'll be pleased with that. It's not over. Last lap. Don't go anywhere. I'm sure these two will be sweating. Rippit wanting to hold his position. Harry Buddha wanting to get past. Let's keep it smooth, guys. Not sure if this is setting a precedent for the rest of the season, but as I said, we've got a Porsche 1-2, I think, and then is that a Ginetta, an Aston, and a BMW. So surprised that not all the marks were taken up. I don't know if they were on offer at the beginning, but there's a couple of omissions from the races, so there'll be no GT86 Rocket Bunny and no KTM either, which is a bit of a surprise. Now, is this our GT4 winner, Sola Salita, who says thank you very much, I'll bag the points, and he'll leave the mechanics to fix the wreckage afterwards. Nico's coming around, flashing away. Porsche 1-2, there's Rip It Up, third. There is your podium 3, unlucky to Harry. Great race, kept it clean. Coming round, a few laps down, just out of the points, so he'll be pretty gutted at that. So no points for both the Lime Evo drivers. Agulator coming across the line, is that 12th place. Faster in 5th, in that rather striking black and sky blue BMW, and he probably won't be too disappointed with bagging a fistful of points there. Well done, guys. Boston also coming in 6th place. Again, I'm not sure about fastest lap, but would be very interesting to see who just nailed that perfect lap. Well, I'm not sure if I'm still on air. I might be, I might not be. Thank you, Suki, for the camera work, and thank you for watching. And that was round 1, GT4 Dubai International. And with that, I will bid you good night.